All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the true, holy, and powerful name of the Heavenly Father. Bahasham meaning in the name. Yahweh Shai is the true, holy, and powerful name of His only begotten Son, who is the Savior of the nation of Israel. Starting off with the elect within the nation of Israel, and Israel consists of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, as well as your Israelite foreigners scattered abroad that may look like the nations where you've been scattered to, but are Israelites. And I also want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the whole for the leg, pushing out this word in all sincerity and the truth. All right, this is Brother Yakar from the GMS branch out of Des Moines, Iowa, coming back at you with another lesson inspired by the Holy Spirit, Harakak Wadash. And I wanted to go into this article real quick. All right, this is from MSN. It says, or I guess it's on the MSN website, but it's from Reuters. But it says Neuralink plans high volume brain implant production by 2026. Musk says, right? So we already know that this is speaking about what's written in the book of Revelation 13 and 16. All right, let's go ahead and read that. This is Revelation 13 and 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads." And as we always do, all right, we go into this word mark. All right, it's the Greek word charagma. All right, charagma. It says a stamp, an imprinted mark. All right, it says of the mark stamped on the foreheads of the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Right, and they go off here. Okay, just in the sense of that, it's when they speak about the Antichrist, they're thinking about one individual that's going to come and arise in the last days and deceive everybody. Right, but as it says in the book of First John. All right. Um, let's grab it. All right, Christ literally means against the Messiah. All right, anti is to be against something. All right, and then Christ, all right, is the anointed. All right, so against the Messiah. And as it says here in the book of First John, it says, First John 2 and 18, it says, "Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists," right? So there's many people that are against the Messiah. It was the same back then, and it's the same thing now, right? It says, whereby we know that it is the last time, all right? So it says in the NLT, warning about Antichrist, anti-messiahs, all right? So anybody that's against these scriptures, that's against Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, will be considered an anti-Messiah. Okay, so just wanted to clarify on that because you got that notion that just this one individual is going to come and deceive everybody, right? Everybody, you got Christians just trying to figure out who it is. Is it Trump? Oh, it was Obama, and it was this person, and it was that person, and so on and so forth, man. Okay, not even realizing that they're anti-messiahs. All right, they're against the anointed. They're against Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, right? It says that's pretty much it in that. So let's go back to this definition in charagma. All right, in the Greek, it says of the mark stamped on the foreheads or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah. All right, so it's not going to be something that's stamped on you. It's going to be something that's inserted into you. All right, as we're reading in this article with the Neuralink. All right, and all the information that's been coming out. And this is something that's physical. It says the mark branded upon horses. All right, thing carved, sculpture, graven work. All right, so this is something that's physical. All right, this is something that's going to actually be inserted into the masses, and this is what they're all moving forward towards, man. Okay, going a little bit further, going into the root of that word charagma, it says karax. All right, karax. It says a pale or stake or palisade, and this is likened into the instrument used to insert. All right, these micro C hips. All right, well, microchips. All right, they ain't really been flagging, using certain of these terms. All right, but nevertheless, okay, that's likened into the instrument that's going to be used. All right, to insert that into the masses. Okay, it says a palisade or a rampart. All right, and then even further. All right, the root word of karax, all right, it's akin to this word here, grapho. All right, and this is likened into what? The information that's going to be stored on all of these devices that's going to carry your medical records, all right, your banking information, right? They're tying all these different things into one system, okay? It says grapho, to write with reference to the form of the letters, all right, to write with reference to the contents of the writing. all right, to write to one, i.e., by writing, to give information, all right, directions, right? So all your information is going to be stored on these microchips. Okay, this is why they're bringing in all of these tying in all these different systems, tying in the banking information, tying in the medical information, all right, tying in all these different things into one system, all right. So, and this is what this big 6G race, all right, is about as well. Okay, that Trump spoke about. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this out real quick. All right, this is from the White House. All right, presidential actions, winning the 6G race, right? And what's the first part of it says? It says, by the authority vested in me as the president, by the Constitution of the laws of the United States of America, I hereby direct Section 1 purpose the next generation of mobile communication network 6G will be foundational to the national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity of the United States. This technology will play a pivotal role in the development and adoption of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, AI, robotics, and implantable technologies, right? So pretty much they're letting you know that they're moving forward quickly. We're trying to get everybody suited with this implantable technology, which is what we're reading about in Revelation 13 and 16. It says 6G will also provide faster, more resilient, and more secure communication networks that can be utilized for national security and public safety purposes. Blase, blase, blah. Right. So, but that's the end. This is the end goal. All right, is to get everybody to get this micro C hit. Okay. And as we're seeing here, going back to this article, Neuralink plans high volume brain implant production by 2026. Musk says, right. So going back to this, Revelation 13 and 16. It says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? So this Neuralink is speaking about what? This mark that's going to be in the foreheads of different individuals, man. And as we're going to read further in this article, all right, there's different miracles that they're going to, different things that this chip is going to allow the people to do, all right, which is likened unto the miracles that we're going to read about in the book of Revelation as well. That's going to deceive people who actually get this microchip, man. All right. And if you get the chip, you're getting dipped. All right. And that lake of fire, man, pursuant to Revelation, the 14th chapter. All right. When the nuclear destruction happens here in America, those that are here in America and they got that microchip, man, they're going to get melted. All right. They're going to be left here to swim in that lake of fire that's going to be caused by the nuclear missiles being shot off here, man. Okay. By various different nations, Russia. All right, the various different nations. It says that the horns that are upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and burn her with fire. So America's allies, all right, in the EU, all right, they're going to turn against her. All right, burn this place with fire, with nuclear missiles. This is the Lord's counsel against America, Babylon the Great. Right, and you get this microchip, you're doomed. All right, you're destroyed. Okay, plain and simple. There's no repenting from this. Right, there's no I'm a just I could just take it out. Like nah. Okay, this ain't that. All right. While you got guys that are, putting out gray areas on what it is, it ain't and this, it ain't this, it ain't that, or sleeping with white women, or it's this, it's all this madness. It's like, nah, we telling you what it is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and it's speaking. Okay, as it is written, and in the end it shall speak and not lie. All right, these things are happening, right? It says, in that no man might buy or sell. All right, so you won't have access to society. This is what they're doing. All right, they're creating the infrastructure, or the infrastructure is already here. All right, setting it up to where you won't be able to function at all in society without this, and it's going to get to the point to where they're going to start beheading people. All right, killing people that don't have this micro C hip. Okay. It says, in that no man might buy or sell save he that hath the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? So let's read back in this article. So once again, Neuralink plans high volume brain implant production by 2026, Musk says. It says Elon Musk's brain implant company Neuralink will start high volume production, right? And this is what we read in the presidential directive, all right, from this the government website, all right, that they want to move forward with what? The implantable technologies, man. All right, and it's a race, meaning they want to do this quick, okay? They want to get this done quick, right? So they're rolling it out. It says high volume production of brain computer interface devices and more, and move to an entirely automated surgical procedure in 2026. Musk said in a post on social media platform X on Wednesday. Neuralink did not immediately respond to Reuters' request for comment. The implant is designed to help people with conditions such as spinal cord injury. The first patient has used it to play video games, browse the internet, post on social media, and move a cursor on a laptop. All right. It says, now let's bring in this precept real quick. Revelation 19 and 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. Right. So these are left hand miracles that they're able to do. And these different miracles are going to deceive people to actually, voluntarily take, all right, the microchip, man. Okay. You know, it was a little clip here. All right, let me see. It was a little clip here. I would play it, but the audio it'd be bugging out when I do screen records for some reason. But if you actually go to this article, you check it out, you could listen to this clip. Okay, but they were the guy here was speaking about, where is it at? Let me see. Let's see. Um, it was a certain portion of this, and it's kind of escaping me. But nevertheless, they were talking about all the different things that people can do with it. You know, right? So people are gonna see these things happen, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, that's cool." Oh, that's what he mentioned. The Wadi Al Shami Al Shai. He mentioned about how you won't forget anything. Yeah, I just forgot something right then, right? You know, you could pretty much download information. You know, onto the micro C hip, So this is what they're going to be, continually continue to forward, all right, to deceive the people to get that microchip. But once again, you get it, you're going to be destroyed. All right, you're going to suffer the wrath of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So just finishing out this verse in Revelation 19 and 20, and the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. All right. And that's going to be via the nuclear missiles, man. All right. That's going to turn this place into a lake of fire. All right. But just want to bring in this precept to speak about those miracles. These are left-hand miracles that are going to be used to trick people into getting it. All right, cool things that you can do, the convenience and this and that and the third, right? So going back, reading a little bit further, it says the company began human trials of its brain implant in 2024 after addressing safety concerns raised by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, which had initially rejected its application in 2022. All right, it says Neuralink said in September that 12 people worldwide with severe paralysis have received its brain implants and were using them to control digital and physical tools through thought. It also secured 650 million in June funding funding round. All right, so that's all we'll grab on that. So let's go ahead and get the judgment of receiving this, man. you know. And once again, man, these things are happening quick. All right, it seems like every day, every other day, man, it's major news that's in the headlines, man, that has to do with prophecy, man. All right, the prophecy train is not slowing down, man. All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 14, and verse 6. It says, let me see, or verse 9, it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand. All right. So these chip implants, right? The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Okay. So this is the judgment of receiving that, man. All right. That day thou shalt burn as an oven, you know, standing upon your feet and melting, right? Let's grab that in the book of Zechariah. What's that, Zechariah 14 or is that Zechariah 12? 14 and 8. I think it's Zechariah 12. All right, maybe I'm tripping. Yep, Zechariah 14 and 12. It says, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away, and their holes in their tongue shall consume away in their mouth, right? And you can see a visual of this from the Sarah O'Connor scene in Terminator. What's that? The Terminator 2? Sarah O'Connor. Let's just type this in. Right, this right here. Okay. You know? And then the director of this movie said that he had saw this in a dream. All right, he had a dream or a vision of this scene, man. You know, and this is literally that Zachariah. All right, so this is what's to come, and it's coming soon, man. All right, it's coming soon. You know, so we got to be girded with faith and belief because you're going to be ostracized from society if you don't have this technology within you. All right, but that's why it says in the book of Isaiah, we'll end it off in this Isaiah the 10th chapter. All right, it's going to take great faith. All right, Apostle Tar I mentioned in the lesson a couple days back how how or it was actually in their outside, well, their inside speaking, that they had. All right, but yeah, I mentioned, man, like everybody's going to be tried pretty much on a whole nother level, man. All right, time of testing. Okay, tried on a whole nother level. Everybody's faith is going to be tested. All right, in various different accounts. Okay, have to have faith that the Lord is going to feed and provide, even though you're ostracized from society, even though you have to be a pilgrim, even though you're losing comforts, even though you're losing these certain things, right? You have to have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai to protect and provide and to keep you. This is the book of Isaiah 10 and 20. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord, the Holy One of Israel in truth, right? So the elect isn't going to take that microchip regardless of what they're being threatened with, as it says in the book of Revelation as well. Let's hit that out also. Uh, This is the book of Revelation, chapter 20, and verse 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of the Most High, in which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither have received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. So the elect isn't going to get that microchip inserted into them, regardless of what they're being threatened with, or regardless of whatever comforts that they may lose, regardless of anything, man. That's why it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So the Lord is going to keep his elect, all right, from taking this, man. All right. He's going to have a certain spirit on his elect to make sure that regardless of any circumstances that they don't take that microchip, man. It says, and they lived and reigned with Yahweh Shai Mashiach 1,000 years. All right. You know, these are those that got the victory over the beast in his image and, in that mark, man. All right. So that's it, through the spirit. Just wanted to do a quick update on that since, this article had just dropped, so it's right at the door, man. All right, it's right at the door. So, Lord's what I was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing out this word in all sincerity and in truth. With that, I'm going to say shalom.